We're live.
Good thing that was not live.
Right, that part. We're live. Thanks for joining us today on this wonderful Wednesday. Today we do have a topic.
Today is actually July the 6th, middle of the year. And in the middle of sports events like basketball and football games, they have a thing called halftime.
Halftime.
And when they go into halftime, they do what's called, they make halftime adjustments. And we're going to talk about that today. What kind of halftime adjustments should you make? What kind of halftime adjustments do you need to make? And what do you need to keep doing a lot more of? Keep doing that. That's working for you. Keep doing those things. And we'll be right back.
We're going to talk about it. I'm back in a moment.
Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Like. Like. Thank you for joining us this morning. Once again, I am Lisa Santiago, and this is Brian K. I am Lisa Santiago McNeill, and this is Brian K. McNeill, and we are the Empowerment Duo. We do have a topic today, and we're going to talk about halftime adjustment. That's what we just had, a halftime adjustment. Halftime adjustments. Halftime adjustments. What do you or can you do in the middle of the circumstance, the middle of the green, the middle of the season, the middle of the year, that you can do to bring about a change, preferably the type of change that you were planning for? So what do you need to execute in order to get closer to that goal? The obstacle in the game is to get closer.
Good morning, sister.
To the win, to get closer to the win. We talked about that a little bit last night. Hey, Miss Phyllis, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Vona Mathis. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning to you guys. My name is Brian K. McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And we make up what's called the Empowerment Duo. And this show is called Let's Talk About It. We talk about personal conversations,
business information,
and spiritual inspiration.
With a little bit of shenanigans thrown in.
And today we're going to talk about halftime adjustments. We're in the middle of your year. How's your year going?
Absolutely. What's going good?
Are you having any fun? Did you take that trip that you had planned on taking? Are you following up on your fitness objectives? Let's make some halftime. First off, to do an adjustment, you got to do an assessment. Because you got to determine what's actually working, what's not. Are you making any money? Entrepreneurial friends.
Are you making any impact?
Are you making any impact? Are you showing love anywhere? Are you helping your community out? Are your friends good friends? Do you have good friends? Are you visiting people? Are you being visited by people? How you doing? How are you doing?
I think that is a really good thing to do an assessment. Mm-hmm. And I was reading today about how to do assessments and talking about the beauty cards. I'm not going to pull a card, but I'm going to share this thought.
Okay.
Skillful questions can open us up to new possibilities. Resist the urge to answer right away from the authority of the brain. Most of the people that we know, particularly that we know in our adult years, are pretty smart. Their brains are pretty smart. Mm-hmm. But I love the line where it said, resist the urge to answer right away from the authority of the brain.
Because the brain wants to anticipate, the brain wants to run ahead, guess where they're going, and you want to come up with an answer, and you can. Okay. You can come up with an answer.
And it goes on to say, allowing the answer to arise from deep layers of consciousness calls new patterns into being. because that's something else that the brain does. The brain brings back the familiar. That's why you can remember things that you took the time to intentionally member at the first.
Yeah, you have to first member before you can remember. Okay. But halftime adjustments. Does he have any idea, Miss Phyllis? Are you doing enough walking, Miss Phyllis? I know she is. That's why I said walking. Because Miss Phyllis gets her walk on. But or do you need to make some adjustments? Yes, start with an assessment first. But then once you've assessed your current life situation, do you need to make any adjustments? It's been said that the average adult spends more time and thought preparing a party that they're going to have than they spend in preparing the rest of their lives. They're mapping out their lives. Miss Phyllis is like, yes, she's getting her walk on.
in those, even in our conversation back and forth, the answers, I know it's because we're on a broadcast and we want to keep engaging people, but sometimes the responses are so instantaneous that they're almost superficial, that they haven't had a chance to come up from the depth of not even you, just global consciousness, the depth of your internal consciousness. We have so much of layers of knowledge that sometimes I think, just like with our brain, where they say we only use,
well, depends on who you believe, but some people say 10% of our brains ever, and some people say less,
well, where we only use at least 10% of our brains. I think much of that may be because we don't have patience with our own thoughts, that we don't have patience with our own responses and with our own activities.
That's probably true. But the other reason why we don't use as much of our brain is we don't know how to use as much of our brain. And another reason is so much of our lives are on automatic pilot. We don't have to think about blinking, for example. We don't have to think about what muscles to engage to get up from a chair or to sit back down from a chair. These things just happen. We don't have to keep reminding our heart to keep pumping. Our brain regulates all those things too. So there's a lot of things that our brain is doing regulatory. Okay. But when it comes to something like this here, answering someone before they finish saying what they have to say completely, or coming up with answers before you've had a chance, or even a moment or a beat to think out what you're about to respond with. Yeah, that happens too. Miss Phyllis George says,
adjustments are always needed to be done.
And our friend Michelle DeWitt, good morning to you as well, Michelle. We're talking about halftime adjustments. We're in the middle of the year. The rest of your year can be way better than the first half of your year. The second half of your year can be way better. Glass half empty, half full, right? What's going to be?
One of the quotes that Dr. Kinston gave me when I was in training was, slow down to speed up. And it keeps coming back to me, slow down to speed up, because I think that when we're endeavoring to get to a goal, get to a finish line, get to an answer, that we are almost on hyperdrive. And just like when you're in a car going down the street, you miss some of the things that may be on the side of the road because your focus is straight ahead.
And you're going too fast to notice.
Absolutely.
Yep. Slow down to speed up. Sometimes slow down to speed up is just so that you can notice things. But sometimes slow down to speed up is to think out your direction and think out how you're going to speed up, which helps make you do it much more efficiently. If you took a moment to prepare or think it out, you can get stuff done a whole lot better. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So how's your first half been? Are you good with it of the year? Or do you want to make a halftime adjustment someplace? What say you?
Okay. I think it could be both.
Mm-hmm. It could be good and you want to make an adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What do I want to adjust for the second half of the year? I want to start walking more myself. Okay. Lisa's walking. So
yes, I have been walking. Good morning, Dr. Beverly. I have been walking. I have been using the Samsung Health program on my phone. Good morning, Dr.
Good morning, Dr. Beverly. How you doing?
Dr. Beverly. Hey, Chef Rev. Good morning, George Allen. And Michelle DeWitt says, I like that. Slow down to speed up. When I was learning it, I didn't understand it.
A lot of things we understand later. I have a client now. She reminds me of one of my other clients who have said to me, Brian, when I was going through that coaching with you, I was really trying to get it. And for some reason, I couldn't grasp it while we were doing it. She said it was a year later where everything that you taught me, everything I wrote down just came to her like revelatory. And it made so much sense to her a year later. Oh, wow, that's what we were doing. That's why. And it worked for her, but it took her some time. And it could have been the headspace she was in while she was going through it. She could have been taxed mentally. She could have been stressed because of something, dealing with other things that are ancillary to what we were doing. And I had a lady yesterday who was telling me, I don't think this way works for me. I want to try it a different way. I had those things happen yesterday. And also yesterday, I will tell you, I got another phenomenal testimonial from a lady that's been working with me before. She said she wrote me a really nice testimonial to LinkedIn. She's actually been on our show before, Miss Lucinda Cross. But she wrote me a really nice testimonial. And I shared it. I posted it to my page on LinkedIn, Brian K. McNeill on LinkedIn.
Dr. Beverly says, Morgan is here. Finally, I thought she was here already and we just hadn't heard about it. We were expecting her last week. Good morning, great
The baby?
people.
Is that the grandbaby?
Yeah, she's already responding to my voice over the phone. She giggles. She already knows who to call. As Dr. Beverly got the touchdown for the baby. Morgan is finally here.
Well, babies are a blessing. And how could anyone ever take part in the birthing of a baby in any kind of way and not see God, in my opinion? If you're there at all, if you see these things happen, you just feel the miracle, the power, the love that it takes to bring a baby into the world, and it's beautiful. Yep. I've had a chance to see that a bunch of times. I'm so excited. I mean, every time I watch a child be born of mine, those, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I think it was 13, 14 times I actually watched one of my children being born. And I think I got like 16 or 17 kids that I know about. That's not true. That's not true. I'm joking. Grandbaby number 16. Oh my gosh. That's a bunch of them. 16 of them. Yes. You are rich in grandchildren.
Michelle DeWitt says, aw. And you missed George Allen's comment. He said, get to stepping. I think he's talking about you now.
Yeah, he was probably talking about, good morning, sir. I did miss it. I didn't see it there.
Hey, Dr. Deborah, good morning.
Dr. Deborah, how you doing, my sister?
We missed you last night. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning.
Last night. Oh, my gosh. Last night was the first Tuesday of the month. We had the Male Empowerment Networks meeting and the Women's Empowerment Networks meeting. In the men's meeting, boy, did we get it in. We had 12 people in the men's meeting last night, and we talked about the word fear in all kinds of ways, what men fear and all that kind of stuff. But then we got into identity. Oh, it was amazing. The conversation, how men introduce, well, I'm a carpenter. I'm Dr. So-and-so. Nah, your name is Larry. You're Mike. Okay. What you do is not who you are. And it was such a beautiful conversation.
Absolutely. Women's Empowerment Networks was equally fantastic. We delved into a little bit of perspective, and I am grateful for some of the perspectives in that call. We also took a moment of silence, which a lot of people attribute to, a moment of prayer, a moment of this, moment of that. It was merely a moment of silent thinking, focusing on what we had heard and what it meant to us.
So you had a women's meeting and y'all had a moment of silence in the women's meeting? Mm-hmm. Now, there's a joke in that thought right there somewhere. With just the bits. I mean, if you could take the bits and pieces of that setup, she had a women's meeting and they took a moment of silence in the women's meeting. With those bits and pieces, you can make a funny joke. What's the Dr. Baby said? Yeah, a bunch of them. Yeah, a bunch of them. Yep. 16 grandkids. You're rich in grandchildren. Yes, you are. I wonder what would have to happen to get them all over there at one time. Imagine that. If you had all the grandkids around you at one time, how much fun would that be? That would be blast. Michelle said, no, Brian. I didn't pull it up. I didn't do it. Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Bill. How are you this morning, William Brown? Thank you for joining us today. He says, happy today, fam.
Good morning, Bill. Happy today to you as well. William Brown was a part of the men's meeting last night, and he rocked. He kicked ice at the men's meeting last night because that's his wheelhouse. If y'all don't know, you need to know that William Brown is the Living Beyond founder, Living Beyond, and he's also the Real You Finder. The Real You Finder is what he is. The Real You Finder. Sister Deirdre's watching today. Good morning, Sister Deirdre. How you doing?
Good morning, Deirdre. Dr. Deborah says, I have now blocked my calendar on the first and third Tuesday evenings, so no more client 5 p.m. call, 6 p.m. call.
No more 5 p.m. after Central Time. No more clients after 5 p.m. CST. She's now in Central Standard Time now. Yeah. I'm going to be in Raleigh. We're going to be in Raleigh in a couple of weeks, actually, not even 2 weeks, about 10 days, because Raleigh hosts Women's Empowerment Network on, I think it's the 15th on this. Whoa, that's the 15th. Today's the 6th. Yeah, it's 9 days. Women's Empowerment meeting in Raleigh, the big one. What?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're just going to be in the car. Don't worry about it. Raleigh, North Carolina hosts a women's empowerment event every year. And this year, I'm going to be one of the presenters. It's the 30th? Okay. Well, then, yeah, I'll be back. The 30th. It's on the 30th. Okay, so I'll be back. Deirdre's been to it a few times. Because we're going to be in Denver, Colorado from the 21st to the 26th.
Dr. Beverly says, trampoline, cookout, water balloon fight, and my nosy next door neighbor will call the police because we will be having so much fun. And yes, she is a Black person, Karen. She's a Black Karen. Deidre is going to be in Atlanta.
William Brown is the Real You Finder. The Real You Finder. How cool is that? She's going to be in Atlanta, but she has been in women's empowerment before, and she knows it's a huge event in Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay. Talk about your poker face, Lisa. Look at you. I don't know what. All of that.
Well, you said we, and this is now
because
the 6th, and I had never even heard of it.
Yes, you have.
I mean, the only women's empowerment events that I have heard of, honestly, have been mine.
But you didn't know I was going to speak at this one?
No.
I can tell you when we talked about it. We talked about it more than once. The last time we talked about it, I was talking about how we're going to be there, and he told me his wife was coming. That way they'll have at least one woman. And I said, well, my wife will be with me too. Remember that conversation, baby?
I thought that conversation had to do with Colorado.
No, that didn't. Okay. Yep, Deirdre, LOL, Lisa. Yeah, she act like her brother don't be telling her stuff. Now, you'll do that to me. You'll book me on something without telling me until day of. Yep.
Is it on the calendar? He breathed at me, y'all.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Halftime adjustments is supposed to be our topic today. What halftime adjustments do we need to make?
Dr. Deborah, Chef Rev says, tell doctor I need her to get to step in.
See what I mean? See, now since y'all got on the app, now he gets to see how many steps y'all taking.
I like it. It's accountability. It's definitely accountability. I'm going to reach out to my partner in Atlanta because one of the challenges that I had with our accountability, although I really enjoyed our walking together, was that if I couldn't get in the walking with her on her schedule, then I just didn't walk.
Right. But this
now we can walk wherever we walk.
They walk
still see
wherever they are. They all log in. And they can see how many steps Chef Rev is taking that day, how many steps Lisa's taking that day, and they find it. I mean, he said it was going to be fun. I think you're finding it to be fun.
I'm finding it to be fun a little bit. A little bit.
She's not going to try to keep up with Chef Rev. He's doing like 10,000 steps
in the morning,
before 7 a.m.
7 a.m. The app is. Well, I'll text it to you, Deirdre. I'll text it to you right now.
Okay. She's going to text it to you, Deirdre, because Deirdre would get into that. You know, that's the kind of thing that she would do. She would want to be down and roll with y'all on that too.
Yeah, and it would be good. I would enjoy being able to work with Deirdre.
You would enjoy it if Deirdre's there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Definitely would enjoy it.
William Brown says, question about halftime adjustments. Being a sports fan, I I have sometimes seen teams make over adjustments. How do you achieve that balance? William Brown's being the adult in the room. Michelle DeWitt says, Lisa, put it up so that everybody can find it.
I wish that I could. I could try. Let me try now.
Okay.
So she gonna holler at me.
Dr. Deborah Dunstan, I heard your question, William Brown. I read it loud. We're gonna get back to it. Dr. Deborah Dunstan says, hi, William. I just shared my testimony of working with you to find my authentic self as a healer and equipper. Oh, I can be both or none of them. Thanks, William. I highly recommend you. That's a pretty good endorsement right there. That's the kind of testimonial letter that you can use. When someone writes a testimony about what results they got as a result, and they actually say the words, I would recommend William Brown.
Yeah,
that's the kind of testimonial that William can lift up and share in other places and use that to help him to build his business. Good testimonial, Dr. Deborah.
Good testimonial, my love.
It is. It is. And it makes sense that Dr. Deborah would find value in working with Brother William because of what they do. If you've not yet given it a try, William Brown, I'm just going to push this out there too. He's offering, what do you call it? A list finder assessment. A list finder assessment. That's his complimentary thing. A labels finder assessment. A labels finder assessment. That's what I think I saw. He's helping people uncover their labels, like Dr. Deborah just gave the testimony of. That she's a healer and equipper. Find your label, Brother William Brown. Go ahead, and William Brown, if you will, put up your link so people can go ahead and register to take the complimentary assessment with you.
Yes.
Speaking of complimentary assessments, I'm doing as well. I have one right at 10 a.m. today. Our show ends at 9:50, 9:52. So I got to hustle all the way from this office, those 4 steps it takes to get to my office, to be there by 10 a.m. and logged on, because I offer a complimentary selling you and your services consultation. It'll take me between 15, 20, 30 minutes, up to 30 minutes to help uncover what it is that you have and how to offer it to the world. And I do that for free. So if you have a service, yeah, it's free. If you have a service, if you're a coach, consultant, if you help someone do anything in any way that's not based upon a product, I encourage you to take your, and I have a Calendly link for that. It's calendly.com/BK McNeill. BK, the letter B, the letter K, and McNeill. That's my Calendly link. I think we have it in one of the banners. But if we do have it, we'll put it up there, and that way you can schedule it. Shame on you.
Shame on you.
If you need help selling yourself or your services and you don't allow yourself to get the help, okay? If you feel like you could sell any better, you should take this. To quote the great poets of the 80s, Run DMC, and I've quoted it on the show a lot of times. Matter of fact, we're going to do it together, okay? Listen up, homeboy, give this a thought. The next time someone's teaching, why don't you get taught? It's like that. And that's the way it is. I'm offering to teach. You should get taught. William Brown's offering to teach. You should get taught. Dr. Deborah Dunstan offers to teach. You should get taught. Lisa Santiago McNeill offers a complimentary coaching session. She's a coach's coach. She's also a publisher, and she's a great wife. But if you have any concerns in this area, if you've written a book and you want to know how to build your business around your book, you should take Lisa's consultation.
Go to IamLisaSantiago.com/calendar. IamLisaSantiago.com/calendar. And you can schedule 15 minutes with me. Good morning, Tara Pereira.
Tara
How are
Pereira.
you? 2 R's.
Tara Pereira. That's what I said. Pereira. That's
no,
what I said.
Pereira.
Did y'all hear me? Pereira.
No, Pereira.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all didn't hear it?
No, you're swallowing the second R.
That's what she said. Anyway, Tara says, hey, Dr. Deborah, and then hello everyone else. Hello, Dr. Deborah, and then hello everyone else.
Hi, everybody else.
How that's going to make me feel, Tara? What's up with that?
Tara's laughing and she said, he's killing it.
She's like, hey, Dr. Deborah. And then everybody else. What's up, Tara? Come on. If you want to be like that, just go to Dr. Deborah. Hey, Lisa.
What?
What do you call a priest that wants to be a lawyer?
What do you call a priest that wants to be a lawyer?
A father-in-law. Ah. A father-in-law. Get it?
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
William Brown brought a question to us.
What was his
Question about halftime adjustments. Being a sports fan, I have sometimes seen teams make over adjustments. How do you achieve that balance?
I think that is the answer is slow down to speed up.
I think the answer is you just keep adjusting until when a ship leaves one port and he wants to go from this port to that port and he has a map out where he wants to go. Most of the time, he's off course. And once he gets off course, the captain adjusts back the other way, keeps making adjustments. He keeps making adjustments. And all of the time, even though most of the time it's off course, you adjust here and then you have to overcompensate and you overcompensate back, They end up in the port that they headed out to. A rocket ship going somewhere, an airplane going somewhere. They all are off course for most of the time. But the pilot, the captain of the ship, the astronaut, they keep making adjustments until they reach this point. Tara says, well, that's my girl. That's why she's talking about her like that. And then Dr. Deborah Johnson says,
hey, Tara, I miss talking to you too. We have to talk soon. Amen. I think William was trying to either put in his link or put in his perspective. In either case, please give
it another shot. Yeah, try again. Okay. Oh, yeah. I need my water.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Or
oh my goodness. Ah.
What you got?
No.
All right. Go ahead.
I met a lady that had twins.
Okay.
They were Juan and Amal. But she only carried the picture of Juan.
Do you know why?
Do you know why?
Yes, I know why.
Because if you've seen Juan, you've seen them all.
Get it? Juan and Amal. Here's William Brown's exploratory link. He did post it. Good morning, Brother Mark Greer. How you doing? He says, good morning, great people of the universe. Good morning, Brother Mark Greer. Today we're talking about halftime adjustments. And if you got a good dad joke, we'll hear that too.
Yes, we're willing to share your dad joke.
Hey, Lisa, what do you call an alligator who wants to work in the police force?
What do you call an alligator who wants to work in the police force?
An investigator. Investigator.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
All right, cool. Good morning. Halftime adjustments. William Brown says, what do you do about overcompensating your halftime adjustments, which I think is par for the course, which I think happens, and it might even need to happen. Because how would you know that you're off course unless how would you know if you've missed the mark unless you've given it a shot? You got to keep making adjustments until. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think you got to keep making adjustments. That was one of the things that we heard about both the ship and the airplane.
Yep. Children trying their parents, seeking out the line of where discipline is going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to keep trying them until, okay, well, okay, I can't go that far with dad because that's going to end up with my butt being whooped. So I got to stop right there. So they find the line by crossing it. Unless you cross it, you won't find it.
I think that could have some truth.
Mm-hmm. And trying to date, okay, you shoot your gift, you shoot your lines, and you don't know which one is going to work until.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know how much Um, I don't know how halftime adjustments. I don't know much about them as far as sports are concerned, but I have definitely seen some halftime adjustments that were miraculous. That were like, they pulled out all the stocks and they pulled out all the energy and they pulled out everything, and there was nowhere to go but up. A lot of times in those cases, they you know what, we can't get no worse, we can't lose no more, we can't get no more, we can't lose any worse than we're already losing, so let's do the opposite.
I want to try to give some more analogies that make it even a little bit more palatable. You're playing in a basketball game, and your plan was to throw the ball in the middle. Throw the ball down low to the center so he can shoot because he's closest to the basket. The other team happens to have two guys equal in size and weight and height that keep him from scoring, and you're not able to score, and because of that, you end up with losing, and you have a big halftime deficit. Okay, they're packing the ball, they're packing down low, and you can't get that what your original plan was. By them doing that, they leave all your other players outside wide open. Okay, so at halftime, the coach notices this, and at halftime saying, look, stop trying to pack it in there because that's not going to work. They're leaving you open. Start taking all your open shots. Take them. And you hit a few of them, then they come out to guard you, and then you can go back to your plan. So you make an adjustment. In football, the other team is running the ball all over you. They're running the ball right at the middle, and you can't seem to stop them. You make a halftime adjustment. You bring the middle linebacker closer to the line. Instead of stepping back 10 feet, bring them closer to make it more difficult for them to run. You make an adjustment in your business life. You're trying it one way. You don't have to always pull out all the stops, but you could try it a different way. Doing it this way, going door to door and knocking on doors and, hey, would you buy my stuff? Doesn't work nearly as well as it used to in the 50s and 60s. So we've all made an adjustment to don't do that. We'll send the text. We'll attraction market instead of knocking on doors. We'll offer something, and the people that are interested in it will raise their hand and say, I'm interested in that too.
Good morning, Brother Kelly. And then we will proceed to work with the ones that are at least interested. And with the attracting, we will have at least narrowed the playing field so that you're not having to swing at everything.
Good grand rising, Mr. Kelly Little. Kelly Little also rocked last night at the men's meeting. We had a great meeting. Man, Kelly was outside when that weather hit us because we got a flash storm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm talking rain and wind, and it just beat against the window. It was good school. Yeah.
Did he look like a weatherman in New York?
No, he wasn't doing that. This is Reg Jackson out here in the hurricane for no good reason.
I would always wonder why the weatherman didn't go inside.
They always do that.
Did he think that we wouldn't believe it was raining if he wasn't standing in it? Did they think that we wouldn't believe that there was a storm if they weren't actually standing in it?
That's a good question. Why do they do that? They do it all the time. They'll be right out there in the middle of the worst storm. Please stay at home. Don't get out on these streets. The roads are dangerous. What are you doing out there?
Like, do we have windows? Is like, what? What is it? Why are we not? Why do we have to have you out there in the storm?
We'll believe you if you tell us it was storming like that. Yeah.
Good, great. Some of those things I find are distractions. I think. Oh, he said I went inside real quick. Yes.
Yeah, we saw you.
Some of those
he rolled his umbrellas down. Everything.
Distractions. I honestly think that there are so many things that we want to see that they don't show, that we could see that are not shown, and that we have a hard time connecting with it.
Two comments. One from Mr. Mark Greer, and I'm going to do it in the stylings of Mr. Mark Greer. My attempt at reading it in Mark Greer voice, I promise you I'm not doing his voice justice. His voice has much more resonance than I'm able to bring forward, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. We keep tweaking things until we reach the desired outcome. Life itself is about making adjustments and being adaptable, chameleon-like, if you will. Those two abilities often lead to an evolution into something else, and many times something greater. In the stylings of Mr. Mark Greer. Mr. William Brown says,
I may be overthinking this, but what is coming up for me is, are you adjusting for the game or second? Sometimes I miss my long game because of overplaying my short game.
Brother, it sounds to me like you very well may be overthinking it. Yeah.
Are you playing for the game or for the season?
Oh, because that second thing threw me off. The game was the second. I didn't know what the second meant. That's what.
Sometimes I miss my long game because of overplaying my short game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that can be delicate and dangerous. Does it make sense to not play to win?
Yeah, every game. And by playing to win that particular game, you are also taking care of your season.
Yeah, but is there not a strategy? And I'm not trying to be coy, but is there not a strategy where losing sometimes actually positions you better for the long?
Yeah, yes, it does. There's a strategy when sometimes it's better for you not to win because you're trying to develop players. So you have a player that you're not sure how they're going to perform later in the year, how they're going to perform in the playoffs. So you may sacrifice a game or two because it's more important for you to see that player who maybe not is ready yet, but it's important to get them some playing time to develop them. So sometimes losing helps in the development. Mm-hmm. And teams that are not willing to develop their players, let somebody get injured late in the year. Now you don't know what you got. That kid has never been in a game before. He took no time to develop him. And now you have a weak link, a very glaringly weak link. Good morning, Pastor Benny Davis. How you doing, sir?
Good morning, Dr. Benny. Thank you for joining us.
Did you see his workout video he posted this morning?
He works out all the time. I need to get him connected to our team to see if he'll work out with us.
But yeah, so that's a good question, Lisa. Sometimes taking the time to develop, even if it results in a loss. You were doing that when I first met you, when I first heard about you. You were taking the time it took to develop, even though you weren't winning the game, but that development helped you later on. That developmental season that you put yourself through. No one made you go through that season.
I almost had to go through it by force.
Yeah. Yeah, because people that knew you and loved you didn't want you to not win. They wanted you to win.
And I was winning.
Yeah, but they didn't see it like you saw it.
Exactly.
That's why they called up Brother Brian. Brian, we got this woman here at our meeting. She's a powerhouse, but she has no idea how to present herself, and she's not going to make any money. Could you help her, please? They called me to help Lisa. I was like, I.
He always tells half of that story.
And then we ended up married. That's the whole thing.
No, that's not the whole thing. I'm going to learn how to let that story go.
You want to fill in the blank?
No.
All right, then. That's the whole story. And the whole thing. That's exactly what happened. Oh, Pastor Benny. Again, Lisa and I'm so happy that you're watching. We had such a good time at your church with your people in Marion, South Carolina a couple of weekends ago. They treated us so well. They fed us well. They had a wonderful group of people in there.
Hey, Michelle says, wow, Brian. Exactly.
What do you mean, wow, Brian, Michelle? What do you mean by that? What are you trying to say, Michelle? Because that's exactly what happened.
Michelle has known me longer than you, sir.
And
she knew what you just said couldn't just possibly be true.
I gave you latitude and said, you want to explain it further? It's like you decided not to. Did you want to do a card today?
Autocorrect, yes. So the card.
We're doing a beauty card right now.
The
card is titled.
The card is titled Calibrate.
Calibrate, okay.
Calibrate. Like any fine instrument, sometimes we need to calibrate, to reset and balance. Calibration implies a set point, a true north with which to align. Once attuned to our deepest knowing, the way becomes clear.
Calibrate.
Calibrate.
Make adjustments. And once you're attuned to your deepest knowing, the way becomes clear. Once you get attuned to. Attunement is one of the words today that matters a lot in business. Attunement, the new ABCs of selling are attunement, buoyancy, and clarity. But the attunement is, can you see your work the way others see it? Can you see your business the way a potential client sees your business? Can you look at your website and your branding the way others see it without seeing old friends? Can you look at yourself objectively? Is it easy to do business with you? All of that is attunement. You get attuned with your market. You get attuned with your mate. You get attuned with the people around you. Can you get into attunement? That's a good word. Yes. That's when you think about it, how does the world see me and what I do? The package that I'm presenting to the world, how does it look? How do they see it? Do I think I'm looking good, but the rest of the world sees me as dressing out of fashion? Okay. Do I like the shadow of gray, or do I look so much better if I shave? How do you see? And it's hard. You can't really see yourself. For example, if I'm not looking at the screen and if I'm not looking directly at a mirror, I can't see my face. Mm-hmm. You can't see your own face. If you're not looking directly at a mirror, you can't. You can't see your nose. You can't see your eyes. You can't see your mouth. You can't see you, but the others can see you. Unless you're looking directly at the mirror, you can't see yourself. Brother Kelly Little says,
life is about lessons. Flexibility allows us to identify opportunities, then pause to make the necessary shifts and adjustments.
Amen.
To cultivate an environment of continuous growth that leads to our evolution/empowerment. Let's adopt and keep winning.
Adapt and keep winning.
Adapt and keep winning.
Yeah. Now, what happens to those who are not willing to make adjustments? Okay. Teams that won't adjust. Nope. This is how we play, and that's it.
This is the way we've always done it.
This is the way we've always done it. What happens to those companies, those teams, and those people?
Well, we're finding now that companies have a tremendous willingness to evolve when it affects their bottom line.
Well, what happens to the ones that don't? They end up losing. They become losers, and they lose a lot when you're not willing to adapt. Trees that don't bend, okay, that are not willing to bend, what happens to them when a storm comes? They break, okay? But the trees that bend, even if they have to bend a lot, they end up coming back straight, okay? They'll bend during the storm, but come back straight. Those are the strongest trees. Where's that, Jacqueline Rosier? What?
Finally, we miss you so much.
Jacqueline Rosier is back in the house.
Good morning. She says, morning, woke up early and fell
back asleep. Ha ha ha. Tomorrow I will not get back into bed. I'm going to tell you, the older I get, the more that bed becomes a trap. I'm going to lay down for a few minutes. You out.
Just talking about fell back to sleep gave me the sleepy feeling. Miss Phyllis said, yes, like the church matter with mother with whom
new pastor they don't like change. No, you get a new pastor in the church, mother. Nah, our old pastor was like this and this. That's what we want.
William Brown says,
my question for everyone is, how can you make adjustments and still be yourself? And I think Kelly Little gave you the answer. Life is about lessons. Flexibility allows us to identify opportunities, then pause to make the necessary adjustments, shifts and adjustments. I think, Bill, if you go to Kelly's answer, that's who you really are. You are that evolving and adapting person, that person that makes the adjustments all the time.
Oh, wow. I have been trying to race to an understanding for something that God has given me, and it just came through in a very different way. I have been studying ladybugs because I think they're pretty, but I thought that butterflies explain more about the evolution of people.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, Cat Ivy.
Good morning, Grand Rising, she says. However, ladybugs helped me to understand something more. And I have been drawing ladybugs and researching ladybugs and Googling YouTube and everything ladybugs and working on a ladybug project right now. But ladybugs start out as larvae. And then they evolve into insects, much like the caterpillar in shape and structure. It has a hard shell, almost like an alligator, is a ladybug. But much like the caterpillar changes into the butterfly, the ladybug actually comes out of the other.
Pupa?
It's not a pupa. Out of the other insect. It comes out of the other insect and begins to evolve into the ladybug. And I think what struck me just now when Bill said, let me read that again.
And I'm going to get to you, Brother Mark.
When he said, how can you make adjustments and still be yourself? The ladybug made the adjustments to come out of the insect that it was in and develop the wings that were part of this new body and became a ladybug. It couldn't stay what it was. So what is itself? If you're trying to stay what you're familiar with, then you might not become what you're really supposed to be
or capable of becoming.
And so in the familiar of this first the larvae, this yellow buggy looking thing, and then this alligator looking insect, and then to evolve into a bulbous flying bug. If that ladybug had endeavored to stay either one of those things, it would never be able to fly.
Exactly. I can see how that analogy struck you.
So who is the you? Who is yourself? Who are you? When you're thinking of what you're wanting to still be yourself, maybe you have never been yourself yet.
Not your full form.
Not who you are ever intended to be. A ladybug's lifespan is about 1 to 2 years. But each one of those stages of evolution are not counted of the lifespan of the ladybug, because it's not a ladybug until it's a ladybug.
I get it. Yes, ma'am, I do. Y'all get her point? Mark Greer says.
It's okay. I got my point.
Yeah, we all got your point. Mark Greer says, Brother B, I've got to say that last night was probably one of the best meetings I've been a part of. Great brothers. And Jay too. That's funny to me. And you too, Willona.
Yes.
And Jay too. Yep. And it was an amazing meeting. You know, men need men. I'm telling you, ladies, men need men. They need some man time. And Mark, it was an amazing meeting last night, and you rocked in it as well. Sister Jacqueline Rosier says,
really knowing and being your authentic self is a great foundation. Because adjustments and changes is what life is all about.
Amen.
I have learned to celebrate adjustments and change. It is why I can get up at 5 a.m. to join the empowerment duo, because mornings are my struggle. I am a night person.
Wow. And wow. Sister Jacqueline, you honor us with your presence, and we're so happy that you're here today. We are late. We got to do our greeting songs and greeting logos. We're going to do it now. Richard Brown, what's up, man? How you doing? Is that Richie?
Good morning, Michelle DeWitt. Again,
right.
She says, Lisa, I love that analogy. Do you want to get the songs?
Yeah, we're going to do our greeting songs and greeting logos. If you're new here with the show, we thank people that have been consistent contributors to our show and been rocking with us for a long time. The show's been going on since 2016. We're into our 7th year now of doing this show. Dr. Deborah Sunson said, Lisa, that was good, Lisa. I have never looked at a ladybug that way. Much of the lifetime was preparation. Miss Phyllis was first today. She has a greeting logo, and it goes, Miss Phyllis is here. So clear the way. Miss Phyllis is here. Now we can all have a great day. Good morning, Miss Phyllis. How you doing? Michelle DeWitt has a song as well. And it goes, DeWitt, Michelle DeWitt. That's her logo. And I'm hoping she does that all the time around her house. Up next was
George Allen.
Mr. George Allen, also known as Chef Rev. And Chef Rev has a jam as well. And it goes, why must I eat like that? Why not hire Chef Rev? Was the good food in me? Nah. Up next is Dr. Beverly. Dr. Beverly has a jam as well. She has a logo. And it goes, Dr. Beverly is on the show. Good morning, Dr. Beverly. How you doing? I'm going to keep it moving.
Dr. Deborah's here.
Dr. Deborah has a song, and it goes,
Dr. Deborah, nonprofit strategist and funding coach.
Good morning, Dr. Deborah Dunstan, nonprofit and strategy coach. Mr. William Brown has a song as well. And it goes, good morning to our friend Bill.
Nobody thinks I can steal.
We love him so, and we always will. Our friend Bill. Sister Deirdre Bruton, you deserve a song. You've been coming to this show for years. So let's get you a song. Name a song or a genre of music that fits your spirit. I kind of know. She probably wants something in the Whispers. Okay, to cover Deirdre Bruton. Something from the Whispers, I suspect, for her. Okay? And I'll help her find you a song. So when Deirdre comes on, we can sing Deirdre's song.
I would love that.
Okay.
Tara, we don't have a song for you.
Tara, help us find you a song. We asked you like 10 times.
Absolutely.
Kelly Little has a jam too. In my Biggie Smalls impersonation. Kelly, can't you see? Somehow your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your jazzy ways. Kelly Little is our man. Have you seen Kelly Little lately?
I have seen him lately enough.
He's got that beard going, man.
I saw that.
He's got that Grizzly Adams going, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Is that everybody?
Mark. No, that's not
Brother
everybody.
Mark Greer has a jam as well. Mark Greer jam goes, so wide you can't get around it.
So low you can't get under it.
So high you can't get over it. Mark Greer is under a groove. He's getting down just for the funk of it. Mark Greer is under a groove. Nothing can stop us now. That's Mark Greer's jam, y'all.
And Jacqueline is here.
Jacqueline Rosier is here. She has a logo and a song. Her logo is, well, according to Jacqueline, and her song is
Jacqueline Rosier. Pretty little one that I adore. You're the only one my heart beats for. I'm so glad that you are mine.
Good morning, Miss Jacqueline.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Cat Ivy. Didn't we find a jam? Yes, we did find a jam for Cat Ivy. And it's Can't Nobody. No, Cat Ivy does it better. She makes sangria and insurance too.
She does do insurance.
And something too. Cat Ivy does it better than you.
You gotta come more often, Cat, so that we can remember it.
That's right. But we know Cat Ivy does it better than you.
Dr. Deborah says, Lisa, that was good. I have never looked at a ladybug that way. Much of its lifetime was preparation.
Yeah, Kelly Little also says
today's truth
is not tomorrow's truth. Amen.
We're constantly learning ourselves because the universe is constantly teaching us.
Amen.
If evolution happens and we don't, then we fail to exist. Coach, I love the analogy of the ladybugs and mention mention of the caterpillar and the butterfly.
I love it too. And Dr. Deborah was right. He goes, much of the lifetime was preparation. Dr. George Frazier talks about the first 50 years of your life is just for learning. It's just for preparation. After 50 is for earning. That comes from Dr. Frazier. The first 50 years of your life, you're learning. That's it.
Yeah, we are running out of time.
We gotta go.
And we appreciate you sharing the morning with us. Evaluate the first half of your year and make a halftime adjustment.
Hey.
And don't forget to have sex.
Hey.